Okay, this spell I've done before on the channel. I like to vary these spells from time to time depending on the circumstances. So we've got an issue with regards to the client. Basically, there's other females sticking their nose into the relationship between her and her man. So we want to, push out these other women. And I have penned a petition so that we don't have any other women, if you know what I mean. So we're binding, I have two females in question, and I'm also binding any further females. So this is a calling to the Santa Muerte. I've called on her black aspect because black, basically we don't want any negativity to happen to the client. So, but we do want negativity between him. We don't want harm to come to him, the target, or these women in particular. But what we want is discord. If they start to get close, we want discord, and we want, an unsettled relationship, so that he isn't happy in that predicament and he wants out, if you know what I mean. So Santa Muerte, the reason for the Black Santa Muerte is because she won't allow the waters to be tranquil in her black aspect. To be honest with you, I'm a believer in just the Santa Muerte, but I will, for the spell work, I will honor the robes. I hope that makes sense. So you're going to need a jar, okay? And you're going to need vinegar, lemon or a lime. I like the lime juice. Sorry, if you're wearing headphones. Lime juice is very, just the same. It's effective. So I've got their photographs, and none of them are looking into each other's faces like that. They're all looking away from each other, okay? And what I'm going to do is try and be careful and put some block communication oil on all of the photographs. So we do not want them to be in contact. Block communication. I think I probably need to do a ton of videos on how I make these oils, because it's all right me saying block communication and then you go out looking for it in shops kind of thing, but it's a kind of oil I make myself. Or if I do need an oil in a hurry, I will purchase it from someone that I really trust, and I do have a particular source pardon me, that I do trust. I'm going to use a banish oil on the females as well. And one more thing, I'll wait till I do this first. We're not banishing him. Well, we're banishing him from their lives, but not from the client's life. Okay, but we do want rid of these females. So I've got the two females that we want rid of, and we have all other females. So what I'm going to do is just write with a black pen all other females, and I've put that on my petition. We'll get to that in a moment. All other females. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to just put that with the photographs and put a little bit of, again, the block communication oils, other females, because we don't want him to communicate with anyone. All other females. I should actually write except, and then I put in her name there, accept her, and that's on the petition as well, accept her, because we don't want to block her as well. Okay, so I leave that for now, and then I'm going to just fold it away from me like that, do clockwise, fold it like that. Okay, now on the petition, I'll give you an idea of what I put on it. So this was a petition to the Holy Death, and every client, every time the full moon comes around, I should mention that I will be including a little handwritten petition for every client to the Santisima Muerte. Just a little handwritten client that I will be placing underneath the statue. That can be an amazing thing to do. at the end of the day, it's still a spell. So I'll be doing that for everyone. It's just so that you know that. And if we're working with her, it might boost things. So I'm basically saying he will not look at any other female only. And then we've put the client's name. He will only have eyes for her. No other female will come between them. And sexual attraction, emotional attraction, spiritually happy. Sorry, I read that completely wrong. They will be at one physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Let's see. I don't know where I was getting that extra bit. I'm trying just to read between the lines here because I don't want to give it all away. But yeah, basically saying that they'll only have eyes for one another, and all these other women are irrelevant to him, and no one matters, only her. And we had to be completely specific because of that. Now let's see. What I'm going to do is something a little bit different, is place the photographs. This is a chili and it is on the way out. I'm just going to cut it. I'm hoping this fits. I really should be using gloves because these chilies are so hot, even when they're half dead like this one. So it's basically us rotting the relationship away. 1 second. Okay, so I got that in the best I could. I'm just popping it in there. So that will basically keep everything with regards to, let's say they go out on a date, one of these women and him. That will bring disagreements. The chilies are really good for actual causing arguments, causing discord and things like that. So, putting them inside that little chili will amplify it. I'm going to pop vinegar in here, and I really, really, really hate the smell of vinegar. After all these years of using it, I can never, ever like the smell of it. What was wrong with this lid? 1 second. Okay, so I'm just visualizing everyone not getting along. Happiness, arguments. I don't want them to get along, so that's perfect. I don't go right up to the top because I've said before, if you've had an experience that was like mine, basically the lid blew on me, and this was a long time ago. It was a personal spell I was doing, and I was storing the little jar behind the toilet. I used to work these jars, and I would just put them behind my toilet because I thought it was an appropriate place and dark place, and I used to put like a sock over it, it was a black piece of cloth kind of thing. It was really a sock, and I would be shaking. I was shaking it up like crazy, and overnight, with the gases and the vinegar and the sulfur and stuff, it blew on me, and even with the little covering on it, it made such a mess, and the smell, really bad. So that's why, I filled it stupidly right up to the top. I should have known better. But anyway, cayenne pepper. Again, another good thing for getting tempers going. Also, you could pop a little bit of lime. I'm running low. I'll get some later. Destruction. Now, this we're using because if it wants to come out, if they do get it together again, the destruction powder will wreck the relationship. We're not harming anyone. We are just removing people and not letting things progress any further. Burdock, no, not burdock. Not weed. knotweed is good to stop things again from progressing, so that's why we're using knotweed. Black salt would be good if I could locate it. Black salt, where are you? Excuse me while I rummage around here. There we go. I need to make more black salt. I must do that. I could actually do that for the channel. That would be an idea. Let's have a look. I'm looking for sulfur. Oh, there's a dodgy candle over here and it's gonna fall. Sulfur. 2 seconds. Okay, a little bit of sulfur. Again, you only need a little bit. Let's see, I'm running out of space. I'm using some alum powder. Alum powder, as I'm sure a lot of you know, is really, really good for when it comes out, that is. 1 second. Alum powder is really good for closing people's mouths and shutting them up and moving them on. Alum powder is favoured in court workings because it gets rid of witnesses that are going to speak against you, kind of thing. Alum powder is really good for silencing people. Okie dokie. I'm going to put some cat and dog hair in there as well, because saying goes, cats and dogs fight. It's not really a saying, but it's a theory. Supposedly, anyway. I have some sort of little mix that I have here. It's for breakups and separations and things like that. There it is. Okay. I'd like to put a bit of graveyard dirt in this because it's very. I put it in at the end. Graveyard dirt is the end. It basically calls an end upon a situation. It's not going to kill. Yes, you can use graveyard dirt in baneful magic, but for this, we're using graveyard dirt to bring an ending to these people interfering, if that makes sense. So we're not calling, we're not doing anything baneful. So it's just to get that out of the way, because I'm sure someone in the comments section will say, you're trying to kill them. I'm not at all. It's really the intent behind what I'm doing, and it's not to kill people. I can assure you. Oh, this is a little hate oil. This will get them all to hate each other, which is why not use that? And yeah, I was going to pop in a little bit more of that. Where is it? Block communication. I really like that oil, but it never stays in the one place. There we go. Okay, you're going to need something sharp, like nails. A smashed light bulb is good. That's my graveyard dirt. Let me see. I'm going to pop a few nails in there. If you could get 9 little nails, or 5 or 3, whatever you want to work with, it's up to you. And what I'm going to do is basically put some smashed light bulb in here. I have to smash the light bulb as well. I like to do 1 light bulb per jar working, and I sometimes have the light bulb prepared and sometimes I don't have it prepared, but I like to do it as a little spell in its own right, if you know what I mean. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show it sometime. I have a little thing that I say when I'm smashing the light bulb with a hammer. just a bit, like I create you to bring darkness upon these relationships kind of thing. That's what I'll say. But yeah, I'll be putting that in there, and I'll be putting some lime in there, and that is really it done. I could put probably a bit of extra chili, but I think there's enough in there, especially with the chili. And that chili's starting to rot, which means that it's going to bring the element of decay, and those relationships will start to decay. So, I have high hopes for the working. I think it's really good to try. The client herself, I think she's very level headed, and she's not stressing herself out. Well, she's not, in my opinion. I think it's a good thing, and I think things will turn in her favor. I will do a reading at a later date. At the minute, I'm trying to keep it around the 15-minute mark because I'm using a different recording package. I just want to make sure that I get everything in. But what I'm going to do is just to show you, I'll be placing the lid on that, and I'll be shaking that up vigorously for every day probably. And I'll be burning a little black candle. It's already over here prepared. That will go on top of that, and it will sit on her altar. So it will. It will sit on her altar, and I will be asking her to help with the spell, to help bring the client some peace of mind and move these imposters on, kind of thing. That's been very polite about the situation. And basically calling for, return of happiness and good times and stuff. But I'll be shaking that up and telling them to move on, to basically just do one out of the area. Get away, stay away, don't come back. So I'll do that for about 10 minutes every night. Maybe not every night. I'll do it, let me see. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sunday. I'm not sure. Whenever, it'll be about 4 or 5 days a week anyway. And it'll be shook up, but it will rest on her altar. And I'll probably keep it on the altar until the client sees a bit of a shift, and then I'll deploy it. And it will be deployed most likely at a graveyard because of Santa Muerte and, graveyards. But at the end of the day, if you're not comfortable with a graveyard, I don't recommend that you go into a graveyard personally, but if you can deploy it somewhere, some people, everyone is different where they deploy these workings. So at the end of the day, it's truly up to you. But you could put a black cloth over it and keep it at the back of a wardrobe or something like that, and deploy it at a later date. It's up to you. I hear of people keeping them for a while, and like I said, in the back of a cupboard or wardrobe covered in a black or some foil, because that gives a mirror effect, if you know what I mean. That everything will bounce back to the person, all the negativity will bounce back to the people involved. Cover the jar in some foil, shiny side out, or I don't know, just like I said before, the black cloth. To each their own. Some people deploy these at crossroads, the spread of the crossroad, all murky, like an old murky river kind of thing, but each to their own. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do for now. I'm going to work this for a while, and we can see how things go. And I'll speak to you all again soon. I've a lot of videos on the way. If you're waiting on a video, please, I am trying really hard to get all my videos out at the moment. I fell behind a little bit. I had a bit of a flu, and it held me up a little bit. Everyone's working has been started, and it's just a matter of, everyone's working has been started, finished, whatever. It's just these videos need to come out. I'm trying really hard to get them out quickly. So it's just to let you know. Next spell up is it's one of those black penis candle spells to bind their sex life kind of thing. With regards to a couple, we're going to bind their sex life, destroy their sex life kind of thing. So that's up next. And I'll speak to you all soon. Have a good evening. Doesn't want to shut down.